Hi, my name is Shirish.
And my name is Bikas
Join us as we highlight ordinary people.
with extraordinary stories. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Common Ground. Today, after a few episodes with Common Ground, bringing guests and everybody to come and share their stories, talk about their life, how Australia has changed, and everything. We've got various questions from people that are energized about what we're talking about, and then this week being Easter, we wanted to kind of take a time where we answer some of these questions. So we've got these random, crazy 30 different questions compiled, and I thought it would be interesting for me and Shreyas to answer these questions on prompt, because we asked Ernest to compile these 30 questions based on some of the requests that had come. We just got these questions about 10 minutes ago, so we don't have enough time to generate our thought process with regards to it. But I thought it would be interesting to kind of go through what comes in our head. Welcome back, and
Thank you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. So just looking at these questions, I don't know what to say, or
Look,
what's gonna come out.
the first thing, as soon as I read the first question, my mind is going around, right? So I'm just thinking, I don't know which one is the best story or best thing.
So how it's gonna work? Like, am I going to ask you a few questions, or are we going to?
I think what I think we should do is you ask me the questions you want to.
Okay.
If I think I want to ask same question back, I'll repeat it back
All
to
right.
you.
Yeah.
If I want to ask something different out of this list,
Sure.
I'll ask you something
Oh,
different.
sounds great.
Okay? Sounds good?
Sure.
So should we get started? You wanna ask me, or should I start?
Should we go rock paper scissors? No, that's all right.
I'm
You
pretty
go
bad
first.
with
Sir.
it.
You go first.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you the first thing that kind of I saw in that list, and uh, I'm trying to wildest thing you have done after getting drunk. I know it's crazy to start with this question, but
Oh.
can it? I know you'd say you would have done wildest things.
There is so many things that, bro. Few things that can't be said in the camera, of course. Wildest thing. Goodness me. Wow.
Yeah.
Being put there right at the spot, you can't even remember anything.
We'll come back to it.
We
then.
probably will have to come back to that one. No, I'm just trying to think. There are so many incidents that has happened.
Yeah.
I just can't. Yeah.
Is it appropriate enough
That,
to
that's
share
that,
or
that's,
not?
that's what I'm thinking. Whether it's good idea to share the stories here or not. That's
Okay.
the thing. Okay, but definitely that's a good start though.
Okay.
You got me there.
Yeah. Let's go with this. Your childhood memory.
Childhood memory. Okay. That would be we has to be with my sister. Many of those, but what I would most recall is my first day in the school.
Okay.
Very scared,
Yes.
timid child, but having my sister there to comfort and to talk about it's gonna be okay. That's probably the one of the fond memory that when someone says okay, best childhood memory, that's probably what comes to my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So were you like very reserved and quiet kind when you were
I
in
was
school? Or?
no in school. I was a scare kid, to be
Okay.
honest. Until grade 7, 8, I used to get pretty scared going out and talking to in front of the class. I would someone be who would know things like in terms of studies, but if you were put on the spot and then asked in front of the class, I would just go blank. Like one of the teachers actually got me in front of everyone, and they could actually see my heart beating. That I was that nervous. So but then what happened was good and bad thing from that. She used to call me every time just to get used to it. So but after what happened from probably from grade 8 onwards, what I was the one who was asking most questions in the class. So that worked out both good and bad.
Looking at you today, I don't think anybody would think you'd shut up
No,
in
but
class.
oh
Right?
goodness me, but yeah, exactly. But yeah, until grade 7, I used to be one of those kids. I used to be scared talking in front of others.
No, that's good.
All right, my question for you would be, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. Look, I am not worried about too many things. That's one thing I always tell people. I know, like, I'm scared of snakes, but that's not like my biggest fear. If it comes and my life is in danger, I'll do whatever it takes, right?
Obviously.
But I think when it comes to that, people who know closely and everything else, I'm very close to my mom, right? One thing I've always been is I've managed everything in my life and I've gone through everything in my life. But something that brings fear to my mind is the thought of not having her at any point in time in life. And like, I know, again, it might be emotional, but rest I see is wherever I am, if anything happens to me, I can always recover energy. When I lose something or somebody that's so big part of who I am, I don't know how I would react to it. That's something I always talk about.
Bro, this is what, with these questions, probably with you and me, I think we will probably go back to, I don't know how all the questions are, but probably most of our answers will revolve around our family, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. That's where I was looking at, right? Except those crazy questions, I'm like, I'm scared to answer, but at the same time, I think that's one thing. With regards to other, I've done crazy life, and I'm sorry, crazy stuffs in life that I'm okay for it to not go the way I want it to, and I'll still be all right. That's kind of what's in my head.
Exactly.
Okay, here's another thing. What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure, there are few. That would be, especially after I got diagnosed with diabetes. Now I'm okay. Sweets. I've got a sweet tooth. Honestly, I can't stop it. Even yesterday,
like the box of almond croissant you just brought.
That's exactly what happened this morning. I was like, I have to have it. So that's my guilty. Another thing is, so there are days when you just sit down on the couch and you're on the couch just doing nothing, eating, watching TV, right? You do it. But at the same time, after the day is gone, you're like, okay, that was one of the hell an unproductive day.
Yeah, you want to do it.
Exactly.
I do that quite often when I get time. I mean, not quite often, but I do when I get time. But it's not always easy.
Exactly.
I mean, like when you sit there and then your whole day is gone. Like this weekend, all 4 days are gone. And now I'm thinking, what did I do? I did.
It's never enough, isn't it?
No.
Weekends, never long enough.
This is what I was telling my friend today. It's this is how retirement would be like, right? But forever. But I don't know if that's how it's gonna go.
Okay, my question for you would be, okay, any celebrity you could date and why?
Oh, I have to say I wanted to. If I say it, Rachel McAdams, she's pretty.
Okay, yeah.
I like the dimples on her face. That just gets me like, when she smiles and stuff. Sometimes with people, their smile is all it takes, right?
Exactly.
I want to sit next to her and just kind of stare at her and admire
just
her.
not
right?
talk.
Yeah, just not talk. Just smile, just smile. But look, as far as other people, this is one thing we've gone. So many times people look at so many aspects, right? Oh, this is why I want to be with them, or these are the things. I think sometimes it's the smallest thing, little things that you get in life. And that's what, you look at. I want to ask you this question back.
Celebrity, I would say Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay, nice.
She's quirky.
Yes.
I think probably because of humor.
Yes.
I think we'll have a very good laugh.
I enjoy watching her in series and everything.
Even with her interviews and everything, she just looks natural. Someone who is not scared of. Someone who doesn't portray as just being an actress, and she just portrays herself as just being a normal human being who commits mistakes and does funny things. So that probably I would say that.
I like her and Adam Sandler together, because I feel like these two are like a realistic
Exactly.
expression of what normal people would be like in movie. When you see this is what the real people would be, not necessarily like just the actor and actress.
Exactly.
So
no, when you watch interviews, you can certainly tell people who are just just doing the same thing what they do into the reels as well in their real life. They are just trying to portray and trying to be in that character. But sometimes when you see that, okay, even these celebrities, they are just normal human being, and when they come out as such in front of others, it's really good to watch. It's really.
Yeah. Look, as far as this, wait, what did you mention? I was thinking Jennifer Aniston. Were you talking about Jennifer Aniston?
No, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, Lawrence,
Yeah.
sorry. I was like thinking, you were talking about Jennifer about Hunger Games. Oh,
Yeah.
I completely said the wrong person.
But then again, they probably would make a good.
Yeah, I mean, like
He's a
'cause,
funny guy.
Sorry,
He's a funny guy.
yeah, he's a funny guy. No, I was thinking when you were saying that, and I'm like, maybe I answered the wrong part, but
Sorry.
that's really fine. Here's the thing: first crush. Or maybe you can't say the name. Might
No,
be
but
her
the funny thing
husband
is,
and kids might
no,
be.
funny thing is, I don't even know a name. That first crush probably. See, back in the days when we just have one channel,
Yeah.
right? So it used to get broadcasted from India. So it was
yeah.
ZTV.
Yep.
So I don't even know the name. I like only remember 50% of the face as well. But definitely after watching it was a game show. I don't even know the game show, but I definitely had a hard time sleeping.
Okay.
So
it's like one of the TV show.
TV
Somebody
show.
from TC.
Yeah, but that's my problem as a I would say a boy growing up probably at that stage.
Okay.
But the only thing is I don't even know the name. But then again, after slowly towards grade 7, 8, probably everyone would say then the same name in our school. It was Alicia Silverstone. All the guys had postcards, posters,
everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Actually, I would ask you the same as well. First crush.
Look, I can't remember much during school days. Like, didn't have TV, didn't have anything, right? I don't think I had anything with regards to the first one. Whatever I remember, is in high school, kind of. Like, I mean, when I was in OA level, I had just completed OA level, and
Nothing until grade 10.
I don't remember anything until grade 10, because until then it was just I was free bird. I didn't care. I was just like in my own zone and everything else. Anything I remember was I used to teach ONA level college, and one of the areas that I was sitting, the girl just walked by. She was pretty, right? I looked at her, and then I had some junior boys with me and I looked at them and I said, "That's your sister-in-law. Don't you dare look at her." And that's something I remember, right? Later, I ended up teaching her class and everything else, but it was kind of awkward because.
What did you used to teach?
I used to teach accounting.
Oh, okay.
And business and economics.
That's not too interesting.
No. But hey, guess what? If she needed any problem solved, I'm like, okay, wait for the class to be over. But look, that's one thing I clearly remember that one, but anything before that, it's very hard for me to remember. I don't remember much because there wasn't TV at home. So
yeah.
And then at that point in time, I was more into like playing sports outside the house and doing everything else. But maybe I had, but I don't recall much at this stage.
No, I can understand.
Oh, I mean,
my question. Okay, is it my turn? Your turn? We're taking.
You can ask.
Okay, a little on a bit serious side. The best advice you've ever got, whether it could be personal, professional, anything.
One I remember from school days and all is do your best, leave the rest. Because this is something we always do. We do something and we keep on thinking so many things over and over again, thinking, hey, it could have gone better, it could have done better. And my teacher in the class, he actually pulled me back and he said, look, you always do your best, and you leave the rest. Because after you have done your best, that's as good as it can get.
You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember back in the days when we used to have that slam book, or we used to call it auto, auto book or something, when they used to, so that actually used to be one of the, I don't know what to call it, catchphrase or something. A lot of people used to write, do your best, God will do the rest.
Yeah, that's kind of that way. Because so many times we give examination and we're scared whether my result will be right, whether I'm going to pass this exam or not. And he used to say, look, exam is done. Whether you worry now or not, it's already done. It's not going to change the outcome.
Whether you did your best.
Whether you did your best or not, that's what it matters. So when you are doing it, do your best after that. And then now when I look at everything in life, that's what it is. I'm going through an audit. I do my best. I submit the documents I can, and then I wait for the result. There's no point me panicking throughout that result, because that's not going to change the outcome. Right?
Probably if that did, a lot of people would just sit in the corner and cry.
Yeah. Because guess what? I want to sit there and I want to think maybe I did the best. Maybe I should have done this, and then all of a sudden outcome is better. Nah, that's not gonna change. But that's just like when you're taught in school, you have a crush, you want to go and talk to them. You put all the effort beforehand,
100%.
Not after you have already 100%. Sent the card or something, right?
The damage is done after that.
The auto book reminds me during school days, like how everybody used to transfer changeover, right? I was good at
Did you have one?
I had one, right? But I used to write on everybody. Everybody expected for me to write few pages, because I used to do so much shairis and all those poem and stuff. In school, I was known as like a Sairi boy. Like I used to stand in school assembly and say Sairis time to time for a different class or different things. So everybody gave me their auto book, so I could write some Sairis for them. Nice. And then it used to be something I used to enjoy as well. I don't know if anybody have that remaining now, but it would be fun to go back and
we should we should just have this clipping, post it to your friends. Tag your friends. Who knows, maybe they can send us a screenshot, because Charu actually, she has her those slam book or auto book, whatever it's called.
Nice.
So she still has it.
I have all the birthday cards and different cards.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, last time I went to Nepal,
as a guy, you used to get birthday cards as well.
From friends, I have birthday cards or Valentine's Day cards. It was funny.
Those I had to hide.
Yeah, my brother used to wait at home when I got home to see how many cards this year I got.
That's
how many
nice.
things. So it's funny, because it was just like something I didn't expect, and I was never into anything or anybody during that period of time, so it was even more funnier.
So more career oriented at the time?
No, more...
Because you started teaching early. You started working early, isn't it?
Yeah, I started teaching early, but at that point in time, career oriented was one thing, but I used to get those cards during school days, right?
Oh, right.
So after I started teaching, the funny thing was I was young. I wanted to look a little bit older, so I decided I'm going to shave. So I get a little bit of beard and I look a little older. Then I even look like a freaking kid, because I just had some line come through and I'm shaving that off and I look like, 12-year-old. And then you go into the class and, that was the period when Ansel was doing, free SIM cards, 100 rupees SIM cards and stuff. So everybody had a SIM card and they would just text you or they would send messages and then close their phone. So I'd never know. In the class, middle of the class, I'm teaching and there would be a message, a vibration and all the phone. And the funny thing is, my brother had sent me a Sony Ericsson mobile from here, and that had the best, loudest speaker and good vibration and everything.
But hated that phone.
Yeah,
because it was exactly opposite how Nokia worked. Because the functions were exactly opposite. That's what with the right now. Feeling with the Mac and Windows exactly. And I hated that because I had to use Ericsson ones, and I was a Nokia guy. I hated that.
See, but the funny thing was, like, when I put Oscar's you know, hey now.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden you put that, and then you're in mid of teaching, and your phone is in the loudest one. Hey now, hey now, you know.
Now when they gradually rolled out those prepaid thing, it was big. Having a phone.
Yeah,
having a phone was a big thing.
before that, getting a SIM card was so much difficult.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
And
you had to go through the process
and once they rolled it out, probably you'll have to wait another 6 months to get even the prepaid to get out, because postpaid we couldn't afford.
No,
we were students, we could not. So the only thing was prepaid. But then again, even I had that probably during the second rollouts, and then because my uncle used to work in telecom, so he got us that was the easiest part. But for my sister to get, she had to wait equally long time, and she was really pissed, because why do I, being young, I get my SIM first, and she got it afterwards, and she was really pissed about it.
See, me and my brother, we got it at the same time, right? But that was the time when you had to fill the application form, and when your number got granted, it would get printed on the paper. This number has been issued to whoever it is, and then we got that letter.
But that's funny, right? All your personal information is just out there for everyone. Not that probably anyone cared,
no,
but
I mean,
still,
it was just name and number anyway. But it was just funny because we were waiting online, and my brother and my phone only last digit is different. One is 52, one ends with 53, right?
Exactly, with mine and my friend. Mine is my one was 14. His was 17. So,
So, and then we still have that phone. It's still active and it's still used. But coming from that point to now, it's just like totally different. Now I can walk to the store and get SIM card
not
and
only that, even
everything.
when first coming to Australia, when I remember, we got the home Wi-Fi and everything. It was $99, and we just used to get 20 gig from that. And we used to be 6 guys living together. Imagine, one is second days, and it's second day of the month, and 20 gig is gone already.
I'll get back to one of the question, right?
Please, the easy one.
Okay, favorite music artist, Nepali. I don't want to give you international.
No, that would be 100%. That's easy for me. That's not very much, right?
Okay.
Because grade 9, very fond memories, because that's whom I grew up listening to when I was in grade 9 and 10, and that's the most beautiful memories that I have of school days and everything. But however, I listen to Naran Gopal a lot.
Okay.
But when it has to be, when someone says, okay, favorite, it has to be Navin Dai.
What about the new artists? Do you know any new artists?
I struggle. What happened with new artists? I normally put out the playlist. The song is being played on the background, so I know new, like when someone says, okay, have you heard this song? Probably I would not know, but if they play the song, then it'll be like, oh, I've heard this somewhere, but I can't exactly remember. But that's what usually happens these days. Not many I'm still stuck with that backup song from 2008-9 until that time.
So with Navin Dai, which one? If you have to pick one song,
that Avas and anything from Avas and Smriti album, because that was grade 9 and 10.
Okay.
Anything when the Smriti got out in the market, at the same day it got into those when you used to buy those cassettes. Got to the store, and it used to have lyrics at the back. So that was the big thing. Took it to the school. Unfortunately, my friend was looking at it, and that was our optional maths. The optional maths, and then the teacher saw it, and he thought probably we were watching something that we should not be in the classroom. So he came in rushing toward us. My friend, he just threw it on the ground, and that got him more suspicious, and just like, okay, get me what it is. And when he realized it was just the lyrics, he was very disappointed. The teacher was very disappointed. He was like, don't do that. Don't do that again in the classroom. But I don't know what he was expecting. Probably something better.
No, I just remember, those cassettes, fun memories with those, when you had to rewind and you wanted to do it faster, put it on the pen or pencil and start rewinding it instead of things.
That's one thing I remember, because back in the days we had those, started with big, those cassette player, and then it went into Walkman. Not many people know even what Walkman is these days.
No.
Then went into Discman. Funny thing is, if I show you that picture, probably people will, think I'm crazy. I used to actually, and that used to be trend as well. I walked around New Road with that big Discman hanging around in the back, and I used to walk around with that.
Belt
exactly. So, and Discman went to MP3 player, and now it's everywhere. But the good thing about cassette player is it used to make you listen to all the songs, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
Because that's how
you didn't know how fast to fast forward, right? Whereas,
and then you have to either sit down with the song being played in the radio to record them, or go to the shops to record individual songs. So fun times.
No, definitely. Other day I was looking at, and it said one of the digital camera that came way after when you used to reel. It's called vintage camera now. If you Google, it says vintage camera.
With the VGA ones?
No, not just VGA one, the digital camera.
Oh, already.
Yeah. So, and I said, if this is vintage, I am ready for a museum now.
Exactly. No, some of those ones, because my aunt, she used to give I didn't have the camera at home, so I used to ask with
the one with the reel.
So with the reel,
Kodak
and
reel.
Every time you take a picture, it has to be rolled back.
Yes.
And then the only thing was right now you can click as many as, but at that time what it used to be, you take a picture and someone would be like, oh, I think I closed my eye, can you take again? And that used to be like
picnic.
Exactly. Always.
4 friends.
Always.
Divide 7 each.
Exactly.
So we divide the cost of one of those reels and then divide the cost of printing.
Yeah.
And then we pay charges. But everybody got, if you had 4 friends, you got 7 4As each.
Exactly.
Decide your pose and decide what you wanted.
It had to be planned, It's just not like now, where it doesn't matter. But that used to be fun. And then give out for printing, and then it used to take initially it used to be couple of days, then they said okay 1 or 2 hour printing. That was a different story, but even waiting that anxiously, waiting for that 2 days, and that was excitement.
And then when you got it printed, there is something blurry or something's fingers coming in front.
Now people might be thinking, which age did these guys come from?
But look, I'm trying to look at this.
Okay, I saw one question. It's a really good question, I guess. Okay. I don't think I've asked. What's your biggest regret? Did I ask you this already?
No. Look, one thing I've told everybody, I haven't anything in life I haven't regretted yet. Obviously, everything has brought something different. Or one thing I think what life accidents and incidents has taught me is never question why. Why it did happen, or why it went, or why something wrong. Why? No why. As far as opportunities missed, there was a time when I had an opportunity to pick between 2 different jobs, and I picked the one that had the most less risk.
Okay, yeah.
That was me joining Ernst & Young at that point in time. There was another entity. As a private equity firm, I could have joined that organization. But I saw that there was a risk in that I might get kicked out after 2 years of time, after something, if I couldn't function. So I was so scared that I thought this was the safest option, and I took this. So opportunity-wise, I feel like I shouldn't have been scared then, but I had just come out of college and I took this opportunity over the other one. And that's one thing I think if I ever have to say, maybe I should have done it. But I'm happy where I am, who I am, and everything else. But it's not like a regret. It's something that I feel like that's an opportunity I missed. That's about it. But rest of the thing, look, there's nothing I look back and say, oh, I should have done this differently, or I want this outcome to be different now. Like I get asked by people, what about the accident, right? But guess what? I'm a different person because of that. And I love who I am today. I loved who I was then, but that was different because...
But you can't really regret about it, can you? Because that's not something what you planned or anything. It just...
But here's the thing. I think initially, it felt like when I was thinking I got into accident around 6:30 in the morning, maybe I should have driven the day before.
Oh, that
maybe
always
if I had driven a different road. And sometimes how, people keep on asking, why did you go that way? Why this? I think at that point in time, things might be different, right?
Exactly.
But it's never been like a regret, oh, I regretted driving at that point in time.
But that's what everyone does, isn't it? Depending upon for the situation, you make your choices. What is best for you, or what's the easiest for you for that particular moment. When things go, sideways, then probably you start to question. Then, oh, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that. For instance, let's say you're regular travel, right? If you're traveling regularly on a train, nothing happens, you don't question anything. But something happens one particular day, you remember about that, and then you question about those things. It's the same. You might have traveled like for years, in a train, but you never question, you never sit there and think, oh, 6 months back, it was a regular day. You never think when something happens that you don't want to happen, then only I think you start to question, oh, maybe I could have done this differently.
Yeah, and at the same time, this is where one thing life has taught is you can't dictate anything.
Exactly.
And this is where it comes. You do your best and you leave the rest. Okay, here's something I was looking at, right? I think this is something would be fun. What if you could have a superpower, but it had to be completely useless? What would it be?
Burp on command.
See, this is where I was thinking, something it's like eating something.
Exactly. I asked him that. Okay.
Maybe I could eat 1,000 momos, but what is that gonna do?
Would be a good one. It's a good superpower. Superpower. What? Turn into a mirror?
Yeah, no. Something somebody would be they're coming. What can you do? I can eat 1,000 momos.
That would be a good superpower, actually.
I mean, what else can you do? I mean, besides annoying people, I'm coming over for momo at your house, but I need 1,000 pieces.
Momos. And that's yet another superpower, I guess. Annoying people.
Yeah.
Most useless superpower. No, I can annoy people. On the same thing, I don't know whether that's there or not.
Yeah.
But if you had superpowers,
yes,
what would it be? Good ones.
Good ones. See, one thing I would say is maybe understanding somebody else better. In a sense of I can understand what you are thinking through or what you are going through without you having to explain me. Because maybe that way I could resolve some of the issues or some of the problems. Huh?
But that has a good and bad side, I guess, isn't it?
I mean, there's always good and bad side.
What I'm trying to say, whatever they might think, if you.
I mean, if they think I'm a crap and I'm just not so good, I know this is the time for me to leave.
That would scare me. You know what? Because I think a lot of people think about negative things more than positive things. That probably would scare me.
No, I think that would make me avoid those kind of people or places at that point.
You will be very sad.
I'll be okay.
Exactly.
Srish doesn't like my presence here, so from next time I won't be around him. So I think it would be I would turn it in a good way in that sense. But I think maybe this is from one of the movie where the guy is a mind reader, he can read somebody's mind, but he goes into trouble afterwards because he's reading everybody, whatever they are thinking, he's hearing all of it.
Exactly. Selective would be nice, just one of those movies like PK.
Yeah,
where you can just touch someone and probably will flash the thoughts.
No, I mean that's where it wouldn't be I stay here and I can read your mind and if I want to, that would be the superpower. If I want to read, and I want to see.
Okay, selective.
Yes, then that would be that superpower. What would you want?
I don't know. I always admired Flash.
Okay.
Growing up, I probably would have a super speed.
Okay.
Initially, sorry. Initially, I used to think, flight would be good and everything, but then I realized invisibility. But then I realized if you're really, really fast,
I could see you annoying.
Exactly. People can't see me, so that's there right there.
I could see you annoying some people in the airplane just going around.
Right, people would absolutely.
Just for fun of it.
Even I was sharing all these crazy stuff that I used to do, back in the college things that I did. I was sharing it with Srish, and he's like, "You did all that stuff at work?" He said, Yes.
All the crazy
content, but at least
crazy pranks and everything that we have done.
I remember when I put that change the wallpaper. It was very harmless joke, but just change wallpaper in Rachel's computer.
Yeah.
And she was like, as soon as she turned it on, she freaked out and she was like, "Serious? Was it you?"
See, that's something I still remember, like celebrating baby shower for you without even
without me. Yeah.
without
One day, Ernest, do you know? One day I walked in and I realized that I was having a second kid. No, everyone was congratulating me in the college. Apart, like I didn't know anything about it, but yeah, that was fun.
I brought sweets in and I told Leanne, Suresh is having another baby. Can you print a card for him? And then she went and told everybody, Suresh is having another baby. That's why Vikas brought some sweets. So I left sweets in your desk, and I still remember Monique.
Yeah, she
so
came in
excited.
and she was like, "Sir, congratulations." I turned around and I said, "Thank you." First, I was very casual about it. I said, "Thank you very much." But then I looked at her and said, "Why?" And she was absolutely, she had no way to respond. You know, she just looked at me and it was a very awkward situation for her. And I said, "Monique, that was just a prank. Don't worry. I'm not having another one."
No,
it was fun.
But that's something, that's what I enjoyed too. Yeah, when I was at EY, one of the group runs these prank on student. So I mean interns. So one of the seniors decided to run this prank and made new intern count the beans, the number of beans in a coffee bag.
Oh,
said this is how much quantity needs to be in this bag. If it is not, they are cheating on this because they are putting more air and less of beans. So the intern sat there and counted the whole bag of beans. So and then the intern was freaking out because the quantity of bean was a lot less than what the senior had said it would be. So didn't know whether to tell the senior or not, but she was freaking out.
Oh,
so
goodness me. That's what I think. You need bit of that.
That's needed.
It gives a bit of a laugh in the workplace, and I think you do need that.
Okay. Here's the question for you, right? As far as if you could go back in time, when and where, when will it be and why? When and where?
Will I have memory of like what? So that's just a question. No, I'll probably say year 9 back in school.
Okay.
Because I've, like I said earlier as well, I have very fond memories of year 9 and 10.
Okay.
So that's something probably, and then the mistakes that I did probably afterwards, I can rectify those as well.
Hey, so, that's not when you met Bowser, right?
But then again, that's exactly where we made.
I mean, you saying from grade 9 and then mistakes I made, and I'm like,
but definitely that's not the mistake.
I'm just trying to get you.
No, exactly. No, that's good as well. But it actually makes sense because we did meet from grade 9 as well. So but that's not the mistake. Like mistakes would probably be in grade 11 and 12. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. If you get an opportunity to be with someone dead or alive, who would it be and why? For a day.
This is kind of difficult question. I've never sat there and thought about this in this space, right?
That's what I realized with these questions. Is like it looks simple, but at the same time,
look, when I look at it's like many times it would be somebody you kind of relate in some aspect, right? Exactly why. And when I give my random answers and questions, people always look at me and kind of ask, how could, this is just a funny example. Everybody asks me, who is your financial, like a guru or advisor and something. I always say, I want to sit down with Bernie Madoff.
Okay.
And people ask me, he's a person who scammed for 40 years and this and that, and he did this and he did that. And I said, look, for being there and scamming people for 40 years without getting caught, with all these high-end people that he was around, he must have done something great. I mean, not to be caught for 40 years when you are surrounded by everybody that can catch you. It's like sitting inside a police station and robbing. So I'm not idolizing what he did, but I want to pick his brain just to understand how could he do that, because that's a magical power in my sense. So when I'm looking at it, I would say something like I would probably want to sit with some financial gurus or somebody who have made that contribution with regards to everything they've done with, you know, something like that. But I don't have any specific name in the head that comes like jumping out.
Yeah, that's what happened with my first question.
Yeah.
When you said what the wildest thing?
Yeah.
After that's exactly it.
I think one of the thing I would be is like maybe, you know, Charlie Chaplin. How could he, like, apparently I heard or whatever I've read that he wasn't like happy person to be.
That's what
But he made the world smile and the world go around. And what gave him that kind of energy and power to be able to do that? You know, so many times we don't see, it's not easy to smile at other people and make other people smile with you as much as people see that happening, because there are so many people who are struggling with so many things and making people happy outside while they are miserable themselves. You know, what was the actor in US movie? He did that. He did the role of like being a woman, and he committed suicide or something. I forgot his name. One of the
is it
Bollywood actor.
Sushant Singh Rajput?
No, not Bollywood. Sorry, Hollywood actor.
Okay.
He was known for his, you know, funny roles and everything else.
Okay, not sure.
I'll come back to it later. But that's something I, you know, I kind of look at. Robin Williams.
Oh, did he commit suicide?
I thought he did commit suicide because he was depressed and actor. Yeah, he did commit suicide. Right. I think because he was depressed and everything else, but he was always known as somebody.
One of the actors who put smile in other places,
other people's faces and everything, but people couldn't understand that he was struggling himself with regards to.
That's it. I knew he passed away, but the only thing is, I didn't realize he committed suicide.
Yeah, I think he did commit suicide. I think he's one of those guests. The next person I saw in that was Anthony Bourdain. He was somebody I idolized in a sense of his job, because he used to travel around the world trying foods and visiting places and everything. And so many times you don't realize everything people go through to be and to put up that smile for everybody else while they're struggling with things. Right?
That's
So not keeping everything there, here's another question for you. As far as what is the most useless talent that you have?
Most useless talent?
Yep.
I've got so many. Probably trying to sing. That probably I don't think people will enjoy hearing me sing, but that probably is one of my worst. That's not superpower, right? Talents, you said.
Talents.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Useless talent I've got is my singing.
Okay.
I enjoy singing though. There's a difference. I enjoy singing. I sing for myself. Fortunately, my wife, like she's okay with my singing. So that's how far my audience goes. My wife and my son.
Yeah. No, I mean, why I ask this is I know your dancing skills are good. I've seen it, right? That would be like something I can't do, right? So that's why I'm like, so many times when it comes to talent I usually use full. But I don't know.
If you've realized, back while we were doing the karaoke night, if you've realized, I never used to sing with mic on, because I know how I sound like. That's why I always used to sing loud, but I never used mic.
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons.
I only sing whenever there is song and everything in the playback. Then nobody and I only start singing after everybody is drunk. So that way.
Oh no, that always helps, because
that way nobody knows.
We've seen that. It happens everywhere when you do karaoke. It's no one wants to start it.
Okay.
Once the couple of drink goes in, no one wants to stop that.
Nobody wants to leave the mic. So
you don't get the mic.
Nobody wants to leave the mic. Okay, look, we're coming towards the end. There's still a lot more here.
There's a lot of
right?
questions. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure.
Okay, because probably a last question from my end.
Okay.
Okay, what advice would you give to 20-year-old you?
20-year-old me. I'd still say have fun, enjoy life, look at things, be balanced in everything. I mean, you gotta party, you gotta have fun, you gotta enjoy everything else, and you gotta look at world like there's no, this is something I've said in the past. Party like there is no tomorrow, or in case there is tomorrow, don't regret everything you did today. That's what I want my 20-year-old to live like, that there is no tomorrow. Do everything you can, make friends, party, study, intern, learn everything you can, but enjoy every bit of it.
Sense.
So that tomorrow when you don't turn back and see, I wish I did this in my 20s. I look at many people and I tell them this. Look, many people I've seen during 20s, they're only doing certain thing. I want money, money, money. They're working for that money, the positions and things like that. Then when they get to 30, they realize, I didn't do this in 20. So they're doing things they should have done in 20s in their 30s. And then they get to their 40s and they do things they should have done in their 30s, in their 40s. Yeah. So they are always leaving behind, right? That's one thing I look at. I think I've done well for myself. Yeah. I did what I could.
Yeah, of course.
Do I look back and say, I wish I had done this? I'm like...
But there will always be things that you...
Yeah.
That's what I guess. Like everyone would like... But just like you mentioned earlier, missed opportunities. Yeah. We will always have like here and there. It's just that how significant were those things? Yeah. That's only the thing.
Being economics student, I used to always say in life, everything has opportunity cost.
Exactly.
So everything, you do one thing, you will miss out on something else. That's normal. But at the same time, you don't look at missing out at something that's gone outside your mean, then you are all right. Right. So look, as we're coming towards the end, one last question I want to ask, which I think I'm going to put you on the spot, and it's going to be, when was the last time you cried?
Okay, that's a good one. Last time I cried probably would have to be listening a very good song.
Okay.
After all the incident and everything. Yeah. So I don't know why. If I listen to music and that really connects, it's not that I'm like absolutely crying, but at the same time, when we talk about the last time we cried, music can make me cry.
Okay.
Yeah. No, before we wrap up, can I ask you the same question? Because I realize that's a very good question, though.
Look, I'll say probably. About 3 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, my like I struggle with seeing any tears or teary eyes with any of the female in my home, mom, my sister-in-law, my nieces, and everything, and the smallest of all. Hope. She was upset about something and she was asking me answers that I couldn't give to her, and she was crying to me. I don't remember ever crying in front of my sister-in-law or my mom or anybody as long as I can. If I'm crying, I'm on my own, right? I'm driving somewhere, I put on some music, I gotta let it out. I don't have anything against people might be like, you're a guy, why would you cry? No.
You got it's emotion. You gotta let it out. Yeah.
But that's one time I remember I couldn't control myself, so I hugged her so tight that she couldn't see I was crying with her, because she was asking me questions and I'm like, I don't have answers for you, right? And she's asking me things that I couldn't answer, and then I hugged her tight and I cried her, but then she was crying, so I consoled her, and then I was trying to explain that to my sister-in-law, and I couldn't control myself. Like seeing as a kid somebody crying that way, is very hard for me to control. But other than that, like, look, occasional here and there, like you are saying, I'm driving, some music really hits hard or something I connect
so
to.
that happens to you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like sometimes, you know, when you look at so many things in life and so many pictures come all clicking one to that one thing, one scenario, and it kind of strikes that memory from that point.
Exactly.
It can bring out that tears. It can bring out that.
And I don't think like but people are very subjective towards, you know, this thing as well. Okay, crying.
Yep.
It's your emotion. You got to let it out.
Yeah, I have no problem. I tell people, like sometimes I have people crying in front, I console them and I tell them it's good. You are cleaning up the canal. Sometimes you need to do that, right? So, but look.
No, it's been fun.
Thank you so much for giving,
Sorry, just before we wrap up, I just wanted to give a shout out to one of someone here. What happened was this shout out is to Roshni Manali.
Okay.
So she used to be one of our students as well. And what I saw on her Facebook last time was for her birthday, she was doing a charity kind of thing. Donations for Leukemia Foundation.
Okay.
So I asked her, I saw it because definitely struck a chord with me. So I was like, okay, Roshni, if you don't mind me asking, why exactly you are doing this? Is there any, I just wanted to know if someone she knew or anything was going through the same episodes or anything. And then she said she didn't know anything about leukemia until she heard about my case.
Okay.
And that's what she's like, okay, maybe I can do something to help someone. So it was for Leukemia Foundation. So definitely a big shout out and really proud of what she's done.
That's great. We'll bring her one of these days. I told her last time, I'll come and pick your brain and tell everybody like your crazy experience, your life, and how being a student and everything else. She was a student with us, and now she's studying fashion and all that, and she wants to do good on all those. Well wishes for her. But again, look, thank you, Ernest. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions. It's always a pleasure to come here and talk. It's hard always to kind of wrap up any chapters because we keep on going and we don't realize the time. And I know I missed some of the communication in this chapter, but we always post what we do here with reels and nothing cut.
Keep it raw.
Yeah, keep it raw. But thank you again for all the support, all the comments, compliments, and everything you have done to keep us encouraged in doing this. Next we'll be back here with another guest to talk about some of the areas that has been mentioned to us. Please feel free to let us know if there is any further questions. And Suresh and I'll be back here again next week to share anything. Bring another ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And then I'll see you here next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.